Howdy ho, and welcome back to another episode of Bemusing Bill. And of course, in this episode, another episode as we continue our story of Pigs in Space. No, come on, we're not doing this story. That's another story. Hold on a second now. Let's enough of this tomfoolery here. Let's get right to it. We are on the source. We are starting Chronicle for the Rebirth. And the very first song is The Bay of Dreams. That's where we're at in the story. If you are finding this video first, I've been covering this entire album, The Source. An incredible album. Incredible musicianship, incredible vocals. And I love the story. So to follow the story, I would highly recommend going to the playlist on my channel with Ayreon's The Source and starting from the day the world breaks down. And then you can just follow right along. It's an awesome story. I love doing this. I think Ayreon is a brilliant composer. And this is going to be a lot of fun. Basically it's the last segment, last movement, or last act of our story on this album. And we're going to continue on into the next album. So let's check this out, and I'll bring the screen up. So that way, and then you know what? I always give you guys the link to check it out below in the box. So you could go over there and give Ayreon your love. If you'd like to support the channel, those links are below as well. If you'd like to join our Patreon community, that would always be awesome. And, oh, you know what? Before I dive into this, and I've been wanting to dive into this, let me see what else is here. Ah, bless you, Ayreon. The lyrics. Okay, so now we can find out who our cast is going to be in this chapter. We have the historian, the incredible James Labrie of Dream Theater. The chemist. Now, the chemist is Tommy Rogers, right? And who else? TH1, Michael Mills from Toe Hider. And the diplomat is Michael Erickson. And the prophet is... And Michael Erickson, I believe, that's... Circus Maximus. There's certain bands I haven't checked out yet. So if you're a fan of any of these other bands that these singers and musicians are part of, let me know in the comments. I mean, I would love to take a deep dive into any of these other bands, you know. That's how I discovered Toe Hider. That's how I discovered Blind Guardian. I haven't done Circus Maximus yet. And then, of course, the prophet is Nils K. Rue, and he is in Pagan's Mind. So if you are fans of any of these bands, let me know in the comments so I can start a card on them and try to do a deep dive. That would be awesome. I love exploring new music, and I've been wanting to get into these, but I don't know where to start. And that's where I leave it up to you, because you guys know. And we're gonna go full screen. Actually, we don't have to go full screen because there's nothing to see. So we could just follow along with the lyrics as we go along. Don't you think that's a better idea? All right, kids, buckle up. Let's do this. We got some Ayreon Bay of Dreams. And just as a quick reminder about the story is they just arrived on their new home, right? So this should be very interesting. And, they're calling this whole chapter the rebirth of a new species. All to be told. You'll see. Interesting. See how everything is building up. When it first started out, it gave me vibes of like early 80s, almost new wave. Then the music started to come in a little bit more, and it started feeling a little more Pink Floyd-ish, you know, that sort of atmospheric, kind of wide open feeling. And little by little, instruments are being introduced. I love that. Two amazing vocalists right there, James LaBrie and Tommy Rogers. Wow. I liked also that the little bit of sound of vocals underneath the layers almost sounds foreboding. You know, there's just something that sounds a little off right now, you know? Like it's not all, woohoo, we're finally at our planet. There's something else. Don't know what, but there's something else.
Overhead, a savage sky. Beyond our placid bay, deadly rays from Sirius high. Upon the seas they blaze. Will I ever run down to this alien life? Will I ever feel trapped? Merely trying to survive.
Oh my God, that sounds so amazing. Can you hear that? I mean, maybe it's a headphone thing, but in the background, that feel trapped. That's so cool. That's what I love about these compositions. Every song is so different, and then even the song themselves changes and morphs, and it's so beautiful. It's so cool to listen to. You just, every time, you know, I'm building my playlist, so I can only listen like in my car or you know, through the surround sound of my living room. I can only hear up to what I've already just reacted to. So every time I do this, it gets a little bit longer. But my goodness, I have caught so many things I didn't catch the first couple of times or few times that I've listened to each of those songs. There's so much involved. It's so amazing. So this is why they're under the water. Apparently, that this planet is very different than ours. And I guess they're talking about the savage sky beyond our placid bay and deadly rays from Sirius I, Sirius the sun that is in this solar system. Upon the seas they blaze. So apparently they have to live under the ocean. I wasn't sure if there's land on this planet. I know I'm totally geeking out on this. Like, you know, just follow the song, the story, and don't worry about all these details. But, you know, I think of these things. But it explains why they have to be under the ocean. And I know as little as the crew on the ship knows anything about this planet, because they're just getting there. This is something they have seen from powerful telescopes back on their home world. They don't know really what they're getting into, and I love that because I don't know either. I'm with them on the Starblade going through the journey. But will I ever adapt to this alien life and feeling trapped? I mean, this has got to be weird. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just got to be so bizarre for these people.
Will you still
VH1.
Will you still be heeding me? Will you still let me serve when you mutate into the species roaming these oceans, or will I be disengaged? My life
Wow.
is winding down as if time has ceased. My world grinds to a halt and nature is at peace. My fears are fading in the wastelands of the deep. My doubts all wash away by the freely twisting stream. Far beyond in the aftertime, a new world to come. In a far-off galaxy, underneath the distant sun, I see our children. They look like you and me. They await their destiny. I can almost hear their scream.
I can almost hear their screams. We're gonna go. I'm gonna go back and check out these lyrics a little more as the song ends here. But yeah, that's a. And this is the prophet saying this. Back to the beginning. I hope it doesn't go into the next one. Oh, good. That happens sometimes. So it's really cool that the coda of the song, the ending, is like the beginning of the song, the intro, except that now it's slowing itself down. Where in the beginning it was kind of like builds itself up, the song builds up. There's a few different breakdowns and changes, and then it gets to this point, and they bookend it with that same sort of synthesizer breaking down. Only now it's getting slower, bringing us to the next song. The next chapter is Planet Y is Alive. Now that's going to be awesome. I mean, we are just starting this story. Really, is what the source is. So the historian says we've arrived at our new home we call the Bay of Dreams, our abode beneath the flow of endless silver streams. I'm assuming they're still in the Starblade, under the water. Okay. Will I ever be free from the ghost of my past? Yeah, you can leave the planet behind, and you shouldn't leave the memories, but the ghost of his past. Interesting choice of words. Will I ever succeed to find peace at last? I believe it's the chemist that came up with the source, liquid eternity, which is, on our world, that would probably be, well, I don't know, maybe it would be a chemist, maybe it would be a microbiologist. This is alternating DNA. So that way, these once humans can survive under the ocean, and it does a lot of other really cool stuff that I don't believe has ever been tested before, unless they were testing it a little bit on Alpha, but Alpha was more of a world like ours. Sounds like it anyway. The historian comes back and says, overhead, a savage sky, beyond our placid bay, deadly rays from Syrah's eye, upon the seas they blaze. So, not an easy place to live, regardless. Even if there is land, it could be too dangerous with solar radiation and cosmic radiation and stuff to actually be able to live on it. That's always possible. So now you know why they have to live under the ocean. Tommy comes back and says, will I ever adapt to this alien life? Will I ever feel trapped, merely trying to survive? Good question. Good question. Now, our dear computer, the wonderful TH1, which after discovering Toe Hider, I was informed that, yeah, TH1, Toe Hider. And Toe Hider is really one person, Michael Mills. So, cute play on that information, Aryan. I love it. That's wonderful. Will you still be needing me? TH1 says. Will you still be feeding me? Will you still be heeding me? You know, do you need my services? Or are you giving me information? Will you heed my warnings or advice? Will you still let me serve you when you mutate into the species roaming these oceans? Or will I be disengaged? So what does that mean? Our resident machine that they brought to this planet is now, wondering about its existence? Gotta wonder about that, When I heard they were going to this planet free of machines, I thought, no, you're not. You've got TH1 with you. The diplomat says, my life is winding down as if time has ceased. My world grinds to a halt, and nature is at peace. My fears are fading in the wastelands of the deep. My doubts will wash away. My doubts all wash away by the freely twisting streams. And TH1 says, in the Bay of Dreams. Now the prophet. The prophet's the one that saw the end to Alpha, also envisioned this world too. Says far beyond in the after time, and that's in a capital A. So this after time must be how they're keeping track of time since they got there, I would think. Yeah, I would think it would be since they got there. This after time, a new world to come in a far off galaxy underneath a distant sun. Far beyond in the after time, a new world to come in a far off galaxy beneath a distant sun. Is he referring to where they are now? Is he talking about planet Y? It almost sounds like he's talking about another planet. And he even says in a far off galaxy. I don't think this planet Y was in another galaxy from Alpha. But I don't know. But that's what the prophet is saying. He says, I see our children. They look like you and me. Okay. Our descendants. They await their destiny. Then he says, I can almost hear their screams. That's very, very foreboding. He's not saying I can hear their laughter. You know what I mean? I can hear their screams. And of course, TH1 says, in the Bay of Dreams. Okay, folks, we have started officially the rebirth. Chronicle 4. Planet Y is alive, is next. I hope to see you guys there. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think of the story so far. If you are also following this along with me, I'd love to hear thoughts and comments. But no spoilers. There's a lot to go. And I'm enjoying the journey with you guys. So until the next time, my Ayreonauts, I love you. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.